Alright guys, we've got some massive Forsaken news to cover today, from the possible return of the 12 Days of Chrisaken event to an awesome new Mequot concept made by one of the devs, some guest 666 drama, and even more surprises. You definitely don't want to miss this one. Let's get right into it. Firstly, we recently got a really interesting poll in the official Forsaken Discord straight from Hitako. In this poll, Hitako asked players if, when Christmas comes around, they'd like to see the return of 12 Days of Chrisaken. For those who don't know, this was a special holiday event that Forsaken ran back during its early days. Every day for 12 days during Christmas, the devs would drop new lore and fun facts about different characters. It wasn't just small stuff either. A lot of what we actually know about the Forsaken roster's lore today originally came from that event. Back then, Chrisaken gave us everything from silly little character facts to major lore reveals that helped explain the backgrounds of killers like John Doe, Bilderman, and Cool Kid. Outside of that event, most of Forsaken's lore updates have been pretty rare, usually hidden in small ARGs, teaser posts, or the occasional in-game Easter egg, so for a lot of fans, the return of Chrisaken would be a huge deal. Now, in this new poll, the results were pretty clear. Almost everyone voted yes. It's obvious that the community wants to see this event come back, and honestly, I completely agree. Forsaken has grown so much since the first Chrisaken, and there are tons of new characters that deserve proper lore reveals. Take Bilderman for example. He's meant to be the owner of Roblox, but despite being one of the oldest characters, we barely know anything about him. A returning Chrisaken would be the perfect chance to finally explore his backstory and show more of his connection to the other killers. And then we've got the newer faces like Noli, Sixer, and Veronica. Right now, we know almost nothing about them. Sixer has gotten a bit more attention thanks to ARGs and games connecting him to Noob's story, but for Noli and Veronica, the lore is practically a blank slate. This event could finally give them some depth and tie them properly into the Forsaken universe. Based on how popular the poll was, I think it's really likely we'll see 12 Days of Chrisaken make a return this year. The community clearly loved it before, and lore is a massive part of what keeps Forsaken interesting. Bringing it back would not only give longtime fans something nostalgic to enjoy, but also help new players understand the world and characters better. If the devs go through with it, this year's Chrisaken could easily be one of the best holiday events Forsaken has ever had. Nextly, we recently got a really exciting Mequot concept design made by one of the people on the Forsaken dev team. For those who don't know, Mequot is a pursuer skin from Die of Death, originally based on a random free model that the game's creator found funny and decided to add. Despite that, Mequot turned into one of the most popular skins in the entire game. The Forsaken Mequot concept was made by Alexis Funny, who's one of the skin creators currently working on the Forsaken team and has been responsible for some of the most impressive skin work Forsaken has ever seen. He's made incredible concepts like Purple Guy and Aberrant John Doe, both of which are turning out amazing, so when he said he wanted to work on a Mequot concept, it was pretty exciting. He mentioned that this was just a small project for fun, something he wanted to experiment with, mainly focusing on Mequot's model and animations to see how he would look inside Forsaken. Then, only a short while later, Alex revealed the finished rig for Mequot, and it already looked super solid and well made. The proportions, pose, and general design all looked really good. And just one day after that, Alex gave us another look, this time showing off Mequot's idle animation. From the number of keyframes in the animation timeline alone, it's obvious he put a lot of effort into perfecting every tiny movement. The animation looks super clean and smooth, perfectly fitting the goofy vibe that Mequot is known for. Alex even mentioned that this was only a sneak peek, which means we'll definitely be seeing more animation soon, maybe even attacks next. If Alex decides to fully finish the concept and it gets enough attention, there's actually a solid chance we could see Mequot officially added to Forsaken at some point. Considering that Mequot is one of Die of Death's most recognizable and popular characters, he'd fit really well into Forsaken's roster. I could easily see him being released as a slasher skin, or maybe even a pursuer variant, since his design and moves match that role perfectly. Of course, this is still just a concept for now, so nothing's confirmed, but since Alex is an official developer and has had several of his past concepts make it into the game, this one has a very real chance. The devs might still focus on other Die of Death killers first, like Harken, Badware, and Killjoy, but given how popular Mequot is, he could easily jump the line. Honestly, seeing Forsaken potentially crossing over more with Die of Death would be awesome, and if Mequot does end up coming to the game, it's safe to say the community's going to be very happy. Nextly, we've got a bit of drama to talk about. So, as most of you probably know, the Chapter 2 update just dropped, and with it came Guest 666. Now, as fun and cool as he is, he's already become one of the most controversial killers Forsaken has ever added. A lot of players love his design and abilities, but many others think he's way too strong and kind of unhealthy for the game's balance right now. So, what's everyone mad about? Let's break it down. First up is his passive ability called Manic Fixation. Basically, Guest 666 gets a 10% speed boost toward any highlighted survivor, but here's where it gets wild. If he's not in chase with that survivor, that boost jumps up to 20%. That means, at max, Guest 666 can hit around 30 to 32 walk speed, which is absolutely insane. He can basically zoom around the map faster than most survivors can react, and it makes escaping him feel almost impossible at times. Next, let's talk about Blood Hunt, his signature ability. When activated, it buffs all of his moves and constantly highlights survivors every few seconds. You can already imagine the problem here. With Blood Hunt active, it feels like you can't hide or outsmart him no matter what you do. Even if you somehow manage to get distance, he can just use his leap to instantly close the gap, and since he gets speed buffs during Blood Hunt, he can keep the pressure going non-stop. Then there's Infernal Cry, which makes things even worse for survivors. It highlights the hit survivor again, gives him another speed boost, and it's super easy to land. On top of that, it has a really short cooldown, meaning he can use it often without much punishment. And finally, his M1 attack is also really strong. It's got a big hitbox, and if you hold it down, he gains an extra lunge that does 10 damage. That combination makes him feel extremely powerful in close combat. So yeah, there are quite a few reasons why the community's been frustrated. A lot of players feel like Guest 666 just does too much. He's fast, he's got strong tracking, and he's got multiple ways to catch you even when you play smart. Now, after trying him myself, I can definitely understand the complaints. He really does feel strong, sometimes too strong, especially when his Blood Hunt is active. You barely get a chance to breathe, and it can get annoying when it feels like no matter what you do, he's right behind you again. That said, I'll be honest, playing as Guest 666 is a lot of fun. His whole kit feels powerful and satisfying to use, and his animations and effects are amazing. So while he might be broken right now, I'm okay with that for the time being. The update is still fresh, and the devs are already working on balancing patches to tone the new characters down and fix issues. So yeah, he's a bit busted right now, but that's normal for new killers. It always takes a bit to get things just right. The important thing is that the devs are listening to feedback, and we'll probably see some nerfs or tweaks really soon. And lastly, Forsaken just released a brand new hotfix, mainly focused on cleaning up bugs and adding a few small gameplay tweaks. First up, they made some adjustments to Veronica's spray paint ability. The range for how far you can spray and wipe has been slightly reduced, and the wipe speed is now a bit faster. On top of that, there's a new 1-second cooldown after spraying. These aren't really nerfs, more like small quality of life changes to make her ability feel smoother during matches. One of the best fixes in this update is for Guest 666's Blood Hunt. Before, his Blood Hunt timer wasn't being reduced to 6 seconds during LMS, which made him completely broken if you activated it right before LMS began. That's finally been fixed, which is great news for everyone who's been dealing with unfair situations. And finally, the legacy milestones are officially back. This includes John Doe's, 1X's, and Noob's old milestones. So for players who unlocked them before and have been waiting to see them return, they're back in the game and fully working again. There were a few more minor fixes and improvements included in this hotfix, so if you want the full list, make sure to check out the official patch notes. Anyways, that's all the Forsaken news for today. As always, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.